They need to change that song to Rule Israel.
Do you consider yourself to be overly aware of other people's emotions?
In a toxic manner, yeah.
In a toxic manner, such as like it's bothersome.
It's intolerable.
You have this like cynical worldview. This period, like, why do
Big
you
time.
like all INJs are so bitter? Like so cute on the outside, but once they open their mouths about their like reveal their true character, they're all fucking deep ass cynics. Like they'd be like, That's sort of how I would.
Thanks for summing me up in 2 grunts.
Yeah, sort of.
But it was accurate. I can't disagree.
Like, what's your take on ENTPs then? Like, have you interacted with any of them like in real life?
You know what? Yeah, I mean, I'm so new to this that I don't really even know what you're talking about there. So could you explain to me what sort of stereotypically?
You don't know what an ENTP is. You know the most powerful master race MBTI type.
No, I didn't know who I can't criticize. Don't tell me about them.
Audra.
You want me to tell them about them?
Yeah, it's just like playing on repeat.
Give me the bad news.
Well, so the bare facts are their conscious functions are extroverted intuition and introverted thinking, extroverted feeling, and introverted sensing. So they're obsessed with ideas and change and see connections and freaking possibilities everywhere. And then they TI that a little bit to make it make sense.
Do they tend to become your gender feminist type people?
No.
No.
Definitely.
In their most functional sense, not in the kind of idiotic.
They tend to be egalitarian, kind of gravitate towards like an egalitarian kind of idea and libertarianism type stuff.
Yeah. Like freedom to explore or freedom in general is sort of like...
Yeah. Freedom in general, responsibility for choices.
Who would be a famous example? Ron Paul?
Socrates.
Socrates, Ben Franklin, Leonardo da Vinci. There's some other ones. I think Teddy Roosevelt was probably one.
Like if you want fictional characters, I would say probably the Joker, Rocket Raccoon, Jack Sparrow.
Well, I'm thinking modern examples. Could you give any contemporary examples?
Trying to think of some good ones.
Now you're forcing us to go into SR. This is a bother. This is
bad.
I'm more tempted to actually.
I mean, have you watched like Fight Club or Pirates of the Caribbean? Because I can think of some in movies. Boondock Saints.
Neil Patrick Harris, Tom Hanks, Matthew Perry, Chris Rock, Ashton Kutcher, Jon Stewart.
I feel like you've read this lately, Ace.
Leonardo da Vinci.
I'm reading them right now.
Leonardo da Vinci, Jon Stewart. What's wrong with that picture?
Mao Zedong.
Conan O'Brien, maybe.
John Cleese, Robert Downey Jr., Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, like Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr.
Patrick Harris.
I've heard Johnny Depp wasn't, though.
Johnny Depp isn't, but Jack Sparrow is.
The thing is about a lot of those people that you mentioned. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The thing is about a lot of those people that you mentioned is that they're being actors. I can't really do anything about their character. Do you know what I mean? Because I just see them as somebody that is pretending, somebody that's projecting something. I can't see the common thread between their characters in real life.
Witty banterers. They usually have a very quick comeback for things.
They fuck
Them
with the
are
teachers in
They
class.
like to make stuff. They're like
They like
building
to
stuff.
argue.
They like to argue. Yeah.
Well, I like to argue. I fucked with my teachers in class, so I haven't got a good conception of the
To
thing.
the
So
point of insanity.
But do you find to intellectually destroy people an amusement? Do you laugh?
to be honest,
Yeah,
if I think that they're contributing negatively towards the world.
Yeah, but just in general, like without the if statement.
yeah.
Oh
Like
no.
if they exist, if
You
they can
find-
respond.
You find that you start a lot of projects, or you have like a lot of really good ideas of things you want to do or things you want to accomplish, and you may take a couple of steps to accomplish them, and then you just kind of don't.
Yeah,
It's a big one.
I'm
That-
surrounded
that
by
is-
that shit.
He's an INFJ8.
But INFJ is much more like they don't do shit until they do shit, and when they
Until
do
they
shit,
do it.
fucking
Then
finish
they
it.
actually do it.
ENTPs start a lot of shit and rarely finish it.
Machiavelli. That's another one I remember there.
Like NE dominants tend to jump in between topics very easily. It's pretty hard for people to keep up with NE unless they have NE themselves. They can be overwhelmed by it. Because NE is basically just making association to association to association. Fucking arrows going everywhere.
Okay.
Some more like Jeremy Clarkson. One's here for you. John Cleese.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Chaza.
What a dick. It's a good world, isn't it? Punches someone in the face and then he goes off and earns more money.
ENTP Paradise.
Yeah, I had a moment today of doing a devil's advocate. We were discussing something, and he agreed with my side of the issue, but the arguments he was using to agree with me were flawed, and I almost started arguing against him.
I do that way too much.
It's pretty
Like,
hard
I
to
agree with your result, but I still need to argue with you because you're wrong in the way you're getting there.
Sean, have you watched Rick and Morty, or do you know what it is?
Yeah, I've seen season 1 and season 2. It's a good show.
Yeah.
Smart.
Rick
Rick
in
is the
Rick and Morty.
ultimate ENTP.
He is the ultimate ENTP. It's pure NETI. Just like that's as much a ENTP you can be. That's our final form.
Including the alcoholism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in pretty much all ways.
Notice that ESFJs don't find that series funny. Or they sort
Really?
of- yeah, they might laugh at cute stuff or like that, but their humor is it's very like superficial on the surface level, and they don't grasp the intellectual joke they often serve.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that probably wouldn't like that show.
Yeah, and many of them find it offensive as well.
Yeah, you're like, first of all, they're either going to not find it funny, not get the jokes, or so. I know some people who would probably get the jokes, but would find it offensive, so would be upset about it. So it's like,
That's hilarious that people would be upset at a show like that.
I agree.
I have to wonder, though, really, if these people are getting upset. You hear people...
They can't
Well,
live
yeah,
up
I mean,
butthurt all the time.
Some people just like the masturbating to the moral high ground, that feeling of being on the moral high ground.
well, I think
and
a lot of times they establish the framework and then they never actually like examine why or what. They just kind of like, it's like they figure out like how to. They have like this default thing and framework, and then they don't ever really change it once it's built. I sometimes see it crash down but it
That's
doesn't.
the worst fucking thing about SJ Sodra, because they don't question stuff. They just
Exactly.
like,
Like they have their framework, and then they're like, okay, this is my thing. This is
Yeah,
what I think
like-
about things. This is how I think about things.
and I hate, like, it's always been that way. I fucking hate that argument. It's like, okay, so it's gonna keep being this way the entire, like, future? You think no change will ever occur because it's always been this way? It's like one of the most ignorant fucking SJ arguments. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I hear, why are we doing this, and the answer is because we've always done it this way, it just makes me want to spit.
I try and
Not to say
I try
that some
and,
things aren't good things to do, but that's the worst argument ever for them.
You can expand on that. We've always done it this way
know
because
what?
this is the best
Yeah.
way to do it. but
Yeah.
not
I
just
always try to get that out of people, and they're like,
yeah, but if you're reasoning that, then you're not doing it. Do you know what I mean? These people are there. They're like, I think
they're
that
just
they're there to build society. They're there to. I think they get manipulated a lot, wars and things like that. But they are there. Their function is to build society. And I think if everybody was thinking about things all the time, then no houses would get built or mines would get dug. Just evolutionarily, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
because we're not going to be doing it
Fuck no.
unless it's a really new and exciting, reminding
mine,
something that we
open.
have to build something for our like time machine. I would,
Yeah.
mind for that.
Have you seen opals though? Opals are dope. I collect them a little bit.
Opals are pretty sweet.
Mm.
Although I have to tell you, my mom really likes opals, and she's an SJ, so.
Yeah.
Does she mind them though?
Is that like an SJ thing, opals?
I mean, what kind of personality type would choose to climb down a hole sort of on their own or with just a couple of people and start digging, trying to find little rocks and shit? What kind of personality type is that?
The way you describe it, it sounds more exploratory. But if you're like, actual like, your job is mining, that I don't know.
Yeah.
You'd have to be an SJ, like an ISTJ or something like that, to do mining. Do the same thing every day.
Every day.
Yeah, some of the people that I know that I had them take a personality test who do get that kind of stuff, they do the same sort of thing every single day and it never really changes. They've all gotten an SJ. ESTJ, ISTJ.
What is it, like 50% is, or close to it or something, is SJs, theoretically.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, I guess that's why they can manipulate them.
Could be. I don't bother looking any deeper than the surface. They would get offended if you told them that, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like STJs will sometimes look a little deeper, but then they go, "Well, this is pointless to getting stuff done, so let's get back to work."
Right?
Like, but look. They're like, "Yeah, but why?" Like, we get it, but we don't care. Moving on. Back to work.
Like some people say to me, and people who are in my family, so I don't disrespect them, but I find it difficult to understand why people wouldn't understand that the truth is important. So if I point something out and there's a massive deception going on, they'll go, well, why does it matter? I'm like, well, what do you mean, why does it matter? It's just fucking truth. You can't just fucking base everything on lies.